one laugh.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, people coming together for a central purpose with a plan can do just about anything. Can do just about anything. As I got to my boss and I said, hey, Bill, this is about a $4 billion industry at the time. He said a couple things to me. He said, go for it. He trusted my judgment. I had been at the chamber for, at that time, probably 15, 18 years, and had started as a trainee and worked my way up to the executive vice president. So he trusted my judgment. He said, you go do that, but don't spend a lot of money. Now, that's in comparison to today what exists on actually Keynote Circle on 9th Street, where Captain Frank's used to be, is a $93 million world-class IMPay design. He's the architect that I'll talk about a while into the speech. But compare that to a comment that said, look, you can do anything you want, but don't spend a lot of money. And there's a funny part about that. Some of the things, people have not heard all of it. Although if you watch, how many people have been to the Rock Hall? Oh, great. When you go down the escalator downstairs, on your left-hand side, there's some monitors. The whole story of how we won it with some of the characters I brought into it is on videotape. So if you want to see a better version of this talk, you can go see a repeat of that. But some of the things we couldn't even put on there. Not that they were dirty, but they were, let's say we made up the rules as we went along. And that's part of the thing. You've got to be creative. You've got to think things through. You've got to have people that, my greatest skill is bringing people together with a common purpose, common cause. It is not necessarily rock and roll, although I had early roots in rock and roll that Rich didn't mention. But back in '64, a guy that owned a Dairy Queen, that still owns a Dairy Queen, Jerry's Dairy Pride in Wycliffe, right on Euclid Avenue, he decided to stage a concert. And in that concert, and I was in 11th grade, this was 1845. I was in 11th grade, and I remember it like it was yesterday, and Jerry told my father, look, if the kid helps me set up seats at the old arena, I'll let him into the room of the Beach Boys, and he can go tape them. Now, to all of you that are in the groups that I probably don't even know half the names, the Beach Boys were a group of people, they're all dead now, except a couple that are still touring. But that was really an early role. Short Elvis Presley, who was inducted in that early class, he wasn't there. Although I had the idea to dig him up and bring him, but the Stones, the Beatles, all of those folks were in the room, the Beach Boys. And we're in the back. There was this funny smell. I don't know what the smoke was, but there was... And we got the word, because there was a reception beforehand, that Ahmet and Jan Winter came up to me as the staff guy, and he said, look, we don't need any more messages. And I got to know somebody really, really well. A lady by the name of Susan Evans, who was the staff, my counterpart with the foundation. And she said, look, they're not upset, but you don't need to say, we know you really want this thing, so don't do anything more. So we enjoyed the evening until about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, literally, because what you might see on TV, the most recent induction ceremony that was here in Cleveland, ends at a relatively reasonable hour. But right after that is when the fun begins, because all the inducted groups and the people doing the induction that are musicians get on stage and jam together and play each other's music. Now that is something to really see, where you're getting Clapton and you're getting the Stones and you're getting all these people playing each other's music and enjoying it. Not for the crowd. There was no MTV on. It was, this is our life. This is what we do. And we did that several times. So now we're in January.